Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiritual Grind.
Good morning.
We are live in studio today.
We are live.
We're going to be. Yeah, we are live, aren't we? We're on this side of the dirt.
Yeah, we are on this side of the dirt.
At least on this dimension.
We're doing something new today.
We are doing something new today.
We got that camera in our face, man.
Yeah, it's going live on YouTube today for the first time ever on video, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the second time that I've just never published it before, but now we're going to go ahead and go live on the video.
I'm trying to ignore the camera.
Why are you trying to look pretty?
No, I'm just trying to ignore it's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
It is. Or
yeah,
like you
you know,
stare at it.
like
Oh my God, is it working?
Right. It feels like somebody's watching me.
You feel like you're being watched?
Yeah, what's that song? Somebody's watching me.
Somebody's watching. Yeah, I remember that movie. Or that song, sorry. That was a movie. It was in a movie too, but that was on screen at one point or another. But anyway, hey, we have a special appearance today.
We do.
We do.
Do tell.
We have Stephen Paul Edwards. Do you know who he is?
I do not. I do now.
He is a spiritual counselor. He's got a PhD in spiritual counseling, and he has written many books. And I guess his most notable book series, is the Venus Flytrap series. I actually remember reading some of this book when on Threads.
Oh.
I remember reading, it was like a little highlight clip. But anyway, so we're going to be bringing him in. I think it'll be a great way to continue our series on sex.
All right. Let's
Are you
continue having sex talk.
All right, we'll bring him in now. If everybody will, give a round of applause to Mr. Stephen Paul Edwards.
All right. Well, hello, guys. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to this.
Sorry, that's the studio audience, Stephen. Sorry.
That's a loud group there, right? That's a loud group. They must be at a Super Bowl party.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Getting ready to. I guess that is today, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
I forgot. I don't even watch football anymore. I was a football.
What do you mean? I'm an English guy telling you guys when your Super Bowl is. What's up with that?
Well, I was a football official for 19 years for college.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
I did NCAA.
Man, you're the Renaissance man. Every time I listen to you, and I've listened to a few of your podcasts, there's something new that comes up about you. That's like, oh wow, he does that too.
Oh yeah, if you ever look at our website, you'll see that we have our hands in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But
Stephen,
that's a good way to start That's a good way to start a sex talk, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
do you prefer to be referenced as Dr. Edwards, Dr. Stephen, or just Stephen?
Just Stephen's fine. You like Dr. Jenny, right? But I just go by Stephen, yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of what stuck. So
It's kind of
somebody
catchy.
along the way started calling me Dr. Jenny, and it just kind of stuck. So here we are.
Has a better ring to it. It has a more informal ring to something that's had a formal stature put to it. So it's kind of a combination of two, which is good.
For sure.
I like it.
It rings out the tongue for me because, for years she had to, go by my name first as, she was Mrs. James Emery, but now she has the doctorate. It's Dr. and Mr. On the formal introduction.
Oh, yeah.
She flipped the table on you, man. That's awesome.
She did. I'm actually working on mine as I haven't finished it yet, but not everybody can finish a doctorate like she did.
Okay.
No. Here's the thing. I've never really. The reason I got the doctorate was not for any reason in terms of for publicity or to put it on a book or anything like that. I really got it, guys, because I worked with Tony Robbins for a long time.
Oh.
And then I started doing my own mind, body, spirit events. And at the end of the events, people would come up to me and ask me, well, could you, counsel for me? Could you be my coach? And of course, to do that, you got to be careful. You got to have licensure. And I wasn't going to spend 7 years learning how to be a psychologist, right? This is not on the table.
Right.
So I found out that you could actually have the ability, the legal right to counsel people through having a PhD in spiritual counseling. So that's what
Yep.
I did. It was a lot shorter time and gave me the ability to do it. So the only reason it started to come up now is because I'm promoting this book, and someone said, "Why did you put that on there?" So I did. So anyway, thank you for asking, Dr. Jenny. And I've thought about it since, actually, should I use it? But I haven't as yet, and probably now that I've started marketing this, I probably won't.
See, now you threw something out there that I have to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do for Tony Robbins?
I was a speaker.
No, you're a speaker
Yeah,
for him.
sure.
Oh, and you were you in
Yeah.
his speaker group that went around and did all the speaking, the
That's
live
right.
events?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, it was an extraordinary experience. And then he introduced me. Now we're going back a ways, right? So this is, I started working with Tony back in 1994. So that's a while ago, right? So back then, and he started to introduce me to more spiritual teachers, right?
Yeah.
So not that Tony is a spiritual, but it's like people like some of your audience may not remember these guys: Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, James Redfield, Neil Donald Walsh, and all those people were all
Absolutely.
big then.
I
Yeah.
still
And I
follow
started to
Deepak.
follow them.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still relevant. Of course, Wayne Dyer passed away, but
Right.
he's still very relevant. What an amazing human being, or
Yeah. I
spiritual being in
still
in the
think,
human body, right?
I think even in
Yeah.
this day and age, they still are very useful information. And I feel like a lot of people still check out their stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. But of course, what happens is with all these people, the younger people want people that are in their generation. So other people have kind of stepped up to the plate. But Deepak is still Deepak, right? People used to call me Deepak Edwards because I love this stuff. So he's absolutely. I mean, the work is amazing, and it will always stand the test of time because it's timeless.
Very good.
It really is.
Tell us a little bit about your book, man.
All right, dude. My book. I pick up on American words even to this day, because I'm from England originally. We don't say those things over there, so it just rings. Anyway, my book, yes, it's a memoir. It's it's a revealing, almost like a confession. As we've just been talking about, I have a background in spirituality, personal development, health, wellness, all that stuff. And so this happened for me about 7, 8 years ago. And it was a time that I forgot everything I knew. I went into a very toxic relationship, which was perfect, don't get me wrong, but it was toxic. It was toxic for me because I lost myself. And I had to come
Oh.
to the realization, that we all have a light and a dark side to our nature.
Absolutely.
And until we can own both of them, we're never free. And the freedom comes from accepting both sides of ourselves, right? So she was a master teacher from a soul level, and she came into my life to help me, to teach me, and I came into her life the same. We were mirrors of each other.
Right.
So anyway, so that's a little bit of background, and the story is just amazing in terms of it was incredibly crazy.
Yeah.
The things that happened between us, we both very competitive, both wanted to win, and so we had this battle going on all the time. She was a former international supermodel. Her father is a billionaire, right?
Wow.
So she grew up in very, she's a spoiled brat. But anyway, she grew up in these circumstances. She went to finishing school, and she would say, "Oh yeah, I am." Yeah, she wouldn't even argue with that, right? So she expected to win everything, to get everything. But she was also smart enough, intelligent enough, and powerful enough to be able to do it without anybody giving it to her, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I come along as this English mongrel, right?
Mongrel.
Born into a lower middle class home, and so she just completely bedazzled me, right? She became my obsession, right?
Oh.
Beautiful, smart, powerful. So the name of the book is The Venus Flytrap, Sex, Lies, and Repercussions. And if I may, just tell you a little bit about why it's called that, right? So
Of
when we
course.
met online. Yeah, no kidding, right? We met online, and I was just completely enthralled with her. Her page on this website. She's an equestrian show jumper. She's lived in Brazil and Miami and Paris. Been on the front cover of Vogue, two Vogues, right? So I'm like, oh my God, I've met my perfect match right here. I met my soulmate here, right? So I started to try and get her interested in having a date, right?
Right.
Which I'm hopeless at, right? I'm hopeless, and I every day in my life. You've been in sales, right? James, you
Yeah,
know
I
what
have.
that's like, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, me too. So we become really good at it because we get to know who people are. And I remember listening to you talking about no script is going to get you there, right? It's really your nature. It's your connection with people and your love to meet people
Yeah.
that makes you successful. So I'm good at influencing, but in terms of women, although I've been married 4 times, so it kind of sounds like a contradiction. I'm just not good, right? I
You
turn to
practiced.
jelly, right? So and of course I'm so totally intimidated by her, right?
Right.
So I'm coming up with these terrible freaking lines and terrible ideas for us to get together, and she's just kicking my ass, right? She's listen, I'm not interested in this guy; he's a loser, right? So anyway, something happened in one of her pictures. She's in a museum. And unless she's 5'11" in her bare feet, and she's never in her bare feet. She wears 6-inch heels most of the time. So she towers over me, right? Anyway, she's standing in front of this wall of vintage computers.
Yeah.
No, sorry, vintage typewriters. Vintage computers. Vintage typewriters. And she's reaching up to type on to the typewriters above her head to give to show you how high it is, right?
Right.
So finally, after she'd made it, she'd agreed to have a date with me for coffee, right? And then she canceled the next day, right?
Yeah.
Something I gotta tie her down somehow, right? So I made a joke. I said, "Hey, listen, I'm looking for an assistant.
Oh.
I need a high-handed typist. Do you know anybody? Right? High-handed typist, right?"
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So she laughed at that. Yeah, right. So she came back and she goes, "Me." And I
Oh.
said, a little eager, aren't we? You know?
Right.
So this is where the banter all started, right? Anyway, so the next day, I'm thinking I got to tie this date down, right? I can't have her, cancel on me again. Guys, I went to an extreme I've never gone before for this date. I'm thinking I'm going to impress her. And I mean, she's from wealth. I got to figure out how I'm going to impress this chick, right?
Yeah,
And she's
billionaire
been,
family.
yeah, right. What am I going to do? So at one point, I'm thinking I'm going to tell her, not directly, but I'm going to let her know I'm buying her flowers, right? I mean, you can't cancel with the guy who's going to buy you flowers, right?
Right.
So I'm texting her. We're texting backwards and forwards, and I said in the text, "What's your favorite flower?" She texted back, "Bird of paradise."
Oh.
So as you can already tell, I like to joke around, right? So
Right.
I texted her back. I went, "Nah, mine too." And then I go, "It's a bit expensive though. So what's your second favorite?"
Yeah, from the billionaire family. That's probably not a good idea.
Right. So she texted back. I kid you not, guys. Instantly, Venus flytrap.
Oh, yeah. So the second most expensive flower in the world.
So here you go, look. So here you go. So on the one hand, what she's doing is telling me who she was. On the one hand, she's this beautiful flower.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And on the other side, there's the Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
And I know you guys know this, and I knew it too, because I had that, the feeling, the intuition came up. Whoa,
Uh-oh.
Be careful here,
Pump
right?
the brakes here. Pump the brakes.
I'm going to eat you for lunch.
Exactly, right?
And have fun doing it.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Dr. J, you hit it the nail on the head, right? So she is the Venus flytrap, and I was the fly.
Yeah.
And she was constantly trying to devour me, and I was constantly trying to not let her devour me.
Right.
You were just holding the flower petals open.
Nice.
Okay, now we're getting into it. So anyway, so that was the story, man. And it's like, and so she began by trying to devour me, trying to actually get everything I owned, right?
No.
And she had been very wealthy, but from a wealthy family. But from the time she was 16, she ran away from home, and she'd been taking care of herself. So and she had a modeling career, but she blew it because of drugs. She got addicted to drugs, and so the job started to dry up. And then she had to learn how to live the streets, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she was very street smart, right? And she had to learn the law and how to manipulate the law.
Right.
So there's a lot of stories to this, but at one point, I'm in a situation where I find out she's an alcoholic, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'd been married to an alcoholic before, right?
Those are no fun.
And so what I should have done when I found out is, as my friend said, listen, have a good time with her this weekend, take her home on Sunday, and then you're done.
Right.
But that's not what I wanted to hear, right? What I wanted to hear was, we got to fix this, and we're going to be together, right?
Right.
So I did a stupid thing. I confronted her about it. Did you know there was a bottle of Captain Morgan's rum in the cabinet under the guest sink? Do you know anything about it? And what is she going to say? No. Why are you asking me? You know what I mean? That whole thing.
Are you accusing me of drinking?
Well, I just brought it up, right?
Right.
But obviously she knew where I was going with it, and she wanted to shut it down right away. Anyway, long story longer, she goes into a fit, right? And she's calling her mom and all this kind of acting out. And I knew that she could well want to draw me into getting physical, so she could call the police and have me arrested.
Yeah.
That's as far as I got with it, right?
Right.
So there was no way I was going to be drawn into an argument, right? And all kinds of funny things happen. While she's going crazy, I make myself some breakfast. That ends up in my lap because she just takes the plates and throw it into my lap, right? She would do anything, right?
Right.
So I'm with my friend, and so we go out and work out to let her calm down. Hopefully, that was the idea. Well, we come back and we can't find her.
Oh.
So then she'd given me her father's phone number. I'd never met him, right? We'd only been dating like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But I decided to call her father. So I call him and I say, you don't know me. I tell him who I am, right? I'm dating your daughter. And he's like, okay, so what? So anyway, so then I said,
he's heard this call before, obviously.
He says, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, you're right. That's right, James. This is not the first time, right? You're right. Exactly.
And you want me to do
great. So you're the Sue of the week.
You want me to do what about it? She's your problem now.
Right. Exactly, right? You guys could have written the book. Anyway, so he goes, I go, did you know that she's an alcoholic? And then it's just silence. And he goes, oh, yeah, I know.
Yep.
Right?
Has been for years.
Like you said, right?
It's kind of duh.
I bailed her out of, 11 countries, whatever.
So he says, I've spent hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on rehabs for her. She just checks in and she just walks out 3 days later, right? So I go.
Did he at that point hand you a diaper bag and say, "It's your turn, brother"?
But here's the thing: you guys have no idea where this goes, right? So listen up, you haven't got the whole story yet. So then he goes, okay. So then he goes, is she in your house?
Oh.
And I didn't say, well, I can't find her. I just said, yeah. He said, get her out and don't ever let her back in again.
He said, don't let her back out.
He said, if you let her back in your house, you're a fool. And this is the father. I'm like,
I love how you said, I didn't tell him that she's lost in my house like some pet lizard.
Well,
yeah, my pet is gotten out of her cage and she's loose in the house somewhere, but we won't go there.
So then what happens is he says to me, and this is, later on down the road, he tells me, and she actually told me too, he put her in an asylum when she was 16.
Oh.
So he's a genius, but is emotionally completely void of emotion, right?
Yeah.
So it's all very practical. She's acting crazy, put her in an asylum.
Yeah.
Which obviously traumatized her. And so she didn't really hate her father, but she said she did, but really she loved him, but she didn't know how to get him to love her the way she wanted to be loved. And she thought the only way her father was going to love her, because he'd made so much money, is that she was financially successful.
Right.
So she made sure that she didn't rely on him for money and wanted to prove to him she could take care of herself. Anyway, that's a lot of background. So anyway, at this point though, I decide, when he says this to me, he goes, get her out of the house, right? He said, by the way, just like you guys said, this isn't the first time this has happened. And he's telling me, listen, she's had guys like lose everything. This is what she does, right? So I'm like, holy crap. Now then, you would think I would just be like, that's it, right? So I call her, right? And she picks up the phone. I had no idea where she is at this point, right? And I say, listen, almost like the game's up, right? I know what's going on. I tell her, I just spoke with you. Right. So I just said, I just spoke to your father. Oh my God. It went up 2,000 degrees, right? She completely lost it, right? What gives you the fucking right to call my father, right? He's a liar. He's done this and he's done that. And she starts to throw doubt into the story. Oh. Anyway, just a little bit more to go. I'm just, giving you the Reader's Digest right here. The next thing, I'm thinking, my God, what's going to happen here, right? So, and I said to my friend, maybe I should call the police. I called the police. You know what they said?
They know her.
Oh yeah. He goes. Oh yeah, we're on the way. She'd already called them.
They say his same thing the father says. She's your problem now.
Yep.
So then she goes. So then when the police arrive, she runs out. She's in the garage, in the back of one of my cars, right?
Yeah.
So she runs out the garage and she wants to take control of the narrative, right? So by the time I'm just sitting inside the house with my friend until I know they're going to come, right? So when they come to the house, they're already lit up, right? Because she's been spilling yarns and telling lies and stories,
Of course.
and on the book cover it tells you that I'm living in a mansion at this point, right? And I got a sex room that's bigger than a house, right? And so but she's telling them that me and my friend Jerry, this is part of the book, tried to rape her in the sex room.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yep.
And then listen, this is what is funny. Then she tells them that we're gay.
Oh,
right?
but you tried to rape her.
How does that add up, right? How does that add up?
Right.
So they come in the house and they tell me all this. I said, okay, well, first of all, none of that's true. Second of all, explain this to me. We're gay and we try to rape her. How's that work? And then one of them goes, well, yeah, I thought that was strange too. Oh, okay. We don't have two rocket scientists here, right? So anyway, long story longer, and I didn't know this. My friend Jerry had recorded her when she was having these crazy, going mad.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And so he said to the sheriffs, look, I recorded it. Can I play it? And one of them goes, well, did you ask permission? He goes, no. He goes, well, it's not admissible then.
Right.
And so Jerry goes, well, it might not be admissible in court, but would you at least listen to it? Because if you listen to it, right now we're in danger of going to jail, right?
Right.
There's a lot on the line here. So if you listen to it, I think you're going to realize what she's telling you isn't true.
Oh yeah, well, it's character testimony for sure.
So they listen to it and they go, holy shit, right?
Right.
And so then they decide they're not going to arrest me. But what they tell me then is, now listen, I don't know if you know this or not, but if we had arrested you and we'd taken you away, she could have got a restraining order and she's a guest in your house. You can't get her out.
Yeah.
You'd have had to evict her, right?
Right.
And
especially in Florida,
that would probably take about 6 months, right?
Yep.
Meanwhile, she's got everything. You can't come anywhere near this house, and she's got everything.
Yep.
I was like, holy.
That would have been bad.
Oh my God. It would have been really bad. So she had me. I was in the jaws.
Yeah.
Of the fly trap.
Absolutely. She's licking her fingers like she just ate a bucket of chicken
from KFC.
Yeah. And guys, I can't tell you how many times that happened.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Wow.
Went on.
You're a slow learner.
Well, not really. I quickly learned how to I quickly learned how to make sure I didn't get eaten, because 99.99% of guys got eaten. Right?
Oh yeah.
But I was smart enough to get out of it. So anyway, but here's the bottom line: we were both very smart. I'm smart, right? She's smart. So it was a battle. It was a constant battle of wills. In the end, she wanted to marry me.
Oh.
Now, for a long time, she believed she was unlovable. You see, that was where it was all coming from.
Yeah.
Because if your father doesn't love you, he's going to love you, right?
Right. No, yeah, totally.
Then, because she's so beautiful, men are around her like flies, right?
Yep.
But she didn't realize, as you know, we have these pans. She didn't realize she was pushing them away, and so she was fulfilling her belief that no one loved her and they only wanted her for sex.
Yeah, that's where I was about to go with this question.
All she wanted to do was destroy men, right? That was
and so that's what I was.
In the end,
that's what I was about to say.
Sorry,
did you teach her? Did you teach her this and she learned, or did you?
No. I didn't really teach her. I just loved her.
Oh, okay.
Throughout it all, and in the end, she's going, "This guy's not going away," right?
I think eventually, I think what happened is covertly, you were teaching her. And I don't know that you even realize that you were.
You're teaching her how to be loved.
She doesn't know, just by your behavior.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I knew a lot of stuff, and I was trying to help her.
Right.
But we were actually inadvertently, and you're right, Dr. Jenny, we were unconsciously teaching each other. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that I had to reflect back on later to get the lesson, right? As I was going through it, it wasn't quite so easy to look at it that way. But anyway, so I managed to escape there, and a number of times. But in the end,
to escape.
But in the end, she realized he does love me, right?
Yeah.
And then she went from trying to take me down to wanting to marry me, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then, but I knew, and you can relate to this, James. I couldn't marry her. There was no way, because if I'd have married her, game over.
Oh yeah, you would. Yeah, it would have been not a good thing.
Fly. Now she'd be like, oh, "That's one dad. I got him. I'm going to go to another one." Right? That's just the way her psychology is.
Totally. We have.
So the question is, go ahead.
Throughout the years, we've worked with many couples, marriage counselors, and you'd be surprised. This scenario at different levels happens a lot, which would be that's a great thing for your book. because everybody
Yeah,
out
well,
there goes through this at some level.
Yeah, and I've done that. I've done the same thing in counseling that I've done, right? But you guys know that it's true. This is also true. You can't counsel yourself, right?
Yeah.
We all need to have someone that can look at our lives for us because we can't see ourselves. And in that situation, I was addicted to her.
Yeah.
She was like heroin to me.
So I am going to agree to disagree. As you hear our podcast, you know I do that often. Because we can actually counsel ourselves. It's just a skill that we have to hone in on.
Well,
but we'll agree to disagree on that one.
We'll agree to disagree. But here's the thing. Here's what I'll agree with you on that to an extent.
Yeah.
You can see yourself to some extent, and you can work on those things and realize them, just as you can recognize a pattern, which I did at the end of this whole thing, right?
Right.
But in terms of really getting down deep to the trauma of your childhood and the things that happened, many of those things are so deep down, you're not even aware of them anymore. So I think to have someone really get that deep, you can't do that yourself. If you could, you would do it earlier and you wouldn't go through the trauma, right? So, and we're meant to go through that trauma because we're meant to use that trauma in our lives for good, right?
Yeah.
And to heal it. So it's what we're here for. So
what we'll do then is we'll have another podcast. We'll invite you back on and you and I can talk through that. That would be very
great.
Beautiful. Let's see how that works. I just told myself. I got myself talking into coming on again. I've got two podcasts with you guys. I'm so happy. Right?
I see it differently, Stephen. I see it much differently. I believe that you can
wonderful?
go deeply.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes, it is.
See things differently.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how you learn.
Me and Jenny and I disagree on things all the time. That's why our podcast is so everybody likes to. We got a call this morning. Want to know why we didn't post one on Thursday because we were busy.
Right.
But because everybody likes to hear.
I heard it was someone's birthday. Happy birthday.
It was, it was.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And holding steady at 29.
Yep.
That's a good way to be. Yeah.
29.
I haven't been able to hold steady yet, but.
I'm definitely a cradle Robin now because she's 29 and I'm 53.
Yeah, man. Yeah, isn't that illegal?
Yeah, well, I guess in some states, I guess. And so I have a big question for you because I was looking at some of this stuff online when I was doing my due diligence prior to interviewing you. And so my question would be to you, what, I seen where you identified in her, what the issues were that you were seeing, the drinking, the obsessive compulsive behavior, obviously the narratives that she was complaining about and creating within her own world. But what part of that in you did you create?
All of it. 100%. 100%. There's nothing that happens in our lives that we don't create, right?
I agree.
We create it all. So, 100%. So, and I knew I was doing that, but I was so addicted to it. I was like, well, screw it. I'm going to enjoy it anyway.
She's like a yo-yo.
And so here's the thing. I am attracted to adventure, to chaos, to excitement. I'm an adrenaline junkie, right? And so I was getting all that along with the craziness, but the craziness also gave me an adrenaline rush because I had to figure out how to get out of it.
Yeah.
Right? So we were just mirrors of each other. Just like I said, I was in an asylum at 16. So was she.
Yeah.
We both had almost the same experience, except, she was born into tremendous wealth, and those kind of things. But at the core, we'd all been through similar trauma and both had, she had daddy issues. I had daddy issues.
And she wanted you to be her daddy.
She wanted me to be her daddy, yeah. But
as long as she didn't want you to call her daddy, then we're good.
Right. Or her call him, him call her daddy, whatever. Yeah.
I never asked her. She probably would have said, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I never asked her directly. And then the other thing is, and you just bring that up right now, we were both addicted to sex with each other. Well, she was addicted to sex, period, right? But I was addicted to having sex with her. We were into the same things. Well, I would say she was into everything, right? But we also enjoyed the same things. And she knew that there was a sex room in my house before I showed it to her. She knew.
Did you?
She just knew.
So did you marry her?
No.
No, that's what he said.
So
he knew he couldn't.
Yeah.
Because the game would be over.
Yeah, right, yeah.
The cat and mouse, I caught the catch, and so then there's no motivation. Really.
Yeah, and she would have lost her motivation behind it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have changed
completely. So here's what's interesting, right? Here's what's interesting. Because you go, okay, well, you didn't marry her. Well, you're not together. So what happened, right? So I'm just going to tell anybody that's listening, This is a spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know what happened in the end, don't listen to this. But here's what happened. At Christmas, my friend Jerry, who's in the book all the time,
Mm-hmm.
he bought me a gift for Christmas, right? And he bought me a stack of books on psychology because he knows I love that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the books was called "I Hate You, Don't Leave Me."
I know that book.
And that book is all about borderline personality disorder.
Yep, I know. I've read that book because my previous wife was like cycling like that. I read that book years ago about how
it's very old. It's one of the first book. It was one of the first books written on borderline personality disorder.
Yeah,
but I read it, and it was her. It was her on the page, guys. They were using cases. No, not using the name of not the real name of the person, but they were using case studies, and I'm like, that's her. That is her. But not in a negative way. It's like as you probably know, there are 9 different symptoms of borderline personality disorder. She had them all to an extreme.
All to the borderline too.
So right over the borderline, yeah, that's a good point. I love that. So now here's the issue, right? So I read in the book that borderline personality is treatable.
Okay,
That's
agree.
what I read. But what I said in my mind is it's curable. And it isn't curable. It's not curable. What you can do is if you go to therapy 3 times a week, you can live with it.
Well, it's manageable. I think it's manageable.
I was going to say manageable. Yeah, it's manageable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything in the human world that I believe in the psyche that is completely. Well, I'd say you may not ever cure certain things, but there are things that are very easily managed, and I think it's easy.
She would never want to manage it. But she would never manage it. Why? Because she was terrified of ever going to a therapist because she was terrified that they might put her back in the asylum, right? Yeah. Whether that's rational or not, that was her belief. So she would never go to therapy, number one. Number two, all her addictions were a survival mechanism. She would never give them up in a million years because they're a way for her to escape reality, which was way too much for her to handle.
So did you find that anytime you deal because you do counseling as well, when you deal with those people with borderline personality disorder, do you find that they've on majority been overly spoiled? Like they've been, because almost everyone I've ever talked to that I have worked with or I know, they were at one point in their life completely spoiled. They have no idea about the value of a dollar, the value of morals, or of ethics and it seemed like it very much is. Every time I can actually take note of with people I've worked with or know that they have been completely spoiled at one point in their life.
Well, yeah, it wasn't necessarily coming from wealth, but being spoiled.
Yeah,
yes,
you can totally agree.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why you can have it in so many different levels.
Yeah, right. So they're totally entitled. They'll just do whatever they want to do and think that that's the right thing to do. Just do whatever they want. Right. And of course, they have tremendous fear of abandonment, right?
Yes.
They're terrified of being abandoned. So, at a level that most people could never imagine. It's like someone sticking a dagger in their heart, right?
Yeah, I feel like some of it's sprinkled with just that self-confidence of, I can't do it myself unless this person, a codependency almost.
Total codependency, yeah. And I was codependent too. Right?
Yeah.
I was codependent on her.
Of course.
So you got two strong codependent people. It's a recipe for madness, right?
Oh, I can imagine.
And I actually have a book that I give away that's kind of a little bit of a sneak preview of what you're going to expect from the book. And it's called Madness and Mayhem. Because it was madness and mayhem. And you know this, James. She could go from loving me at 10 a.m. to hating me at 11 a.m.
Right.
Or even sooner. The mood swings, and I was diagnosed with manic depression when I was a kid. Of course, we know that as bipolar now.
Yeah.
So I could have mood swings too, right?
Yeah.
But to the degree that she could, and the chaos that created was just.
Oh yeah, the rapid cycling stuff is insane. I lived through that. So, I'd go from having a 5-minute positive conversation to ducking wine glasses, and there's stuff like that. It was insane. It was like. And then what's crazy is somehow inside you figure out a way to blame yourself. to make it feel
Yeah,
better.
well-
I guess I don't know. It was a cycle for me that I went through.
Yeah. Yeah, blame, I think, as well. But and also just say, listen, I can walk away from this if I want to. I'm choosing to stay. No one's forcing me. It's on me. And I go, would I do? I really want to stay. And I go, hell yeah, right? I mean, she was amazing, and we had incredible times. And I was very fortunate back then. You know, I had developed my speaking career with, you know, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, and all these gurus, right? So I was making $1 million a year, right? Living in a mansion. I've got a Bentley. I got a Rolls Royce. Things are going pretty well in my mind.
Right.
But those things were just ways for me to not have to face who I am, right? Or to face those things, right? Because when you're in that situation, you're not being forced into doing that. And sometimes when you're teaching it, you don't, you know, it's one thing knowing what to do is another thing doing what you know, right?
Right.
So I had a lot of things around me that were protecting me, but also trapping me.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
But the point I wanted to bring up was we were traveling all over the world, right? We were living a fantasy life. Nothing about our life was real, right? We didn't have to do anything. We didn't have any kids. We could go where we wanted, do what we wanted.
Yeah.
And we took advantage of that, right?
Yeah.
So we had, the point I wanted to make was I also, as much of the trauma and the chaos, we also had an amazing time.
Yeah.
So in the end, guys, it wasn't that I wanted to break up with her.
Right.
What happened is I had to come to a realization
This is toxic.
And I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I mean, I was literally going insane.
Yeah.
And I had to come to the realization, as my counselor said to me, Steve, you got to realize something. If she is not going to do the work, you have to let her go, because you're already losing yourself and you'll be completely lost and there'll be no bringing you back.
Totally.
Right? So you've got to make a decision. Is this what you want for the rest of your life? And you're a sinking ship right now. Your business isn't doing well. You know, your health isn't doing well because you neglected all these things to be with her.
You got obsessed with it.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I knew that if I did not want to let her go. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
You know, and
since I
go ahead.
I was just going to say, and since then, not only did I have to let her go, I had to make sure I cut any tie with her.
Yeah.
Any conceivable way she could contact me or I could contact her, because I knew and still know to this day, if she walked in the room, we're just going to start all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an addiction,
like
man.
Right?
It's like putting a crack rock in front of a crackhead.
Yeah, right? And it's like a heroin addict, you know?
Oh, yeah.
They know if they shoot up one more time, they're going to go back to where it was.
Yep,
you know?
go back. Yeah, totally. And so, you know, I think the crazy part about all of this, that I think that is, it kind of melds with some of the podcasts that we have put out recently. And one of those things is identifying within you what causes you to do the things that you're doing. And
that's the whole point, right?
That's right. Yeah, totally. And I think in this scenario, she went from not feeling like she could be loved to being loved for the first time and doesn't know how to understand it, or how to create a feeling within her that is actually receptive.
Yeah, and so again, we were mirrors. I didn't think anybody could love me.
Yep.
I didn't think anybody could ever love me, right?
Yep.
Based on my childhood relationship with my parents, because I never believed they loved me.
Right. Totally.
So I felt just like she did, unlovable, right?
Yep.
And so
do you find that story, I don't think my parents loved me, do you find that was a self-created story, or did you have conversation with them on that directly and find validation in that story at all?
It's just a story. Everything is just a story. You tell ourselves the story, because later on in life, I got validation that they did.
Yeah.
It was obvious, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then once that happened, that story was not necessary anymore, and it just evaporated, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I never had a relationship with my father at all, right? And now, in fact, I just got back from hanging out with him. We have a blast together. We have an amazing relationship now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I had to let go of all that stuff, right? All that gook, all those lies, and
that's what we
limiting
have to
beliefs.
do with all of the different sections of the life pie, including sex. We create stories and we don't even validate to see if they're true. And 9 times
That's
out
right.
of 10, those stories that we've created are just outright monkey mind lies, but then we completely mold an entire lifestyle around it and
Based around
and
lies,
run with it.
Yep.
That
remember
to
hearing a
me is
story.
the true healing part of getting down to the bottom of self-healing.
Yep.
Is being able to become self-aware and identify what those stories are and realize that asking questions, okay, is this a true story or is this a lie? And do whatever you got to do to validate one of those two answers. And so what will happen then is when you go and you validate, okay, you know what? This one's true. I've got actual evidence. I've talked to the person. The person says, yeah, you're hideous. I don't like you. I don't love you. Then you can say, okay, in this column, this statement, this person does not love me. That's a true statement. Now I can decide from there, do I go into self-loathing because one person hates me or does not love me? Or do I come out of that educated and how do I want to mold my identity based on that?
Right.
Then when you go and you do more scientific analyzation of the statistical data, say that 5 times backwards, and you find out that it is a lie, then you get to make the decision, okay, this is an outright lie. I'm going to file 13 it, or I'm going to continue to play with this because it's such fun to just live in the chaos.
Yep.
You get to make a decision, and that's the control part of it. And if you decide, okay, I don't want the chaos anymore, I'm going to dissolve this and I'm going to create a new story that is true. My father does love me. And from there, I'm going to create a brand new relationship. That's what the actual self-healing is, and getting to the bottom of how our mind blueprint is actually constructed and how to do the work around it.
Yeah, see, I think that's a really, really good feedback there, actually, because we never fix anything that we don't self-identify.
Yeah,
and
you know, one of the things you said, Dr. Jenny, when you were talking to James, because he was saying, you know, sometimes when I've had doing these therapies, I carry some of the toxicity with me afterwards.
Yeah.
And you made a great point when you said, well, maybe you're taking on too much responsibility. You're not the healer. You're the facilitator.
That's right.
They're healing themselves, right?
Yeah.
So, but they've got to be willing to do that. I wanted to share this quick story with you that Tony tells.
Yeah.
Two young boys at home with their father, sitting in the living room. The father's a drug dealer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a stash and some money under the seats on the sofa. Anyway, the SWAT team come to the house.
Oh.
They come bursting through the door. He reaches for his gun, and they shoot him dead in front of the two boys.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Now, here's the thing. It's the same event,
Yep.
right? Truth has nothing to do with it. It's what we believe, and that determines everything.
Yep.
Nothing has any meaning except the meaning we give it.
That's
right.
One of the boys decided to make that mean the police are bad. They were out to kill my father. I'm going to be a better drug dealer than my father was.
Right.
Yep. The other boy said, I will never have anything to do with drugs or law enforcement in my life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Two completely different destinies, right? So the first brother was in and out of jail all the time.
Yep.
The other brother had a balanced life, kids, great life. So, and it's, you know, another example would be, you know, these people who become, suicide bombers, right?
Yep.
They believe so wholeheartedly they're going to go to heaven and be with 100 virgins, which to me would be a headache you never want to have.
Right.
But anyway, they believe that so hard that they'll fly a plane into a freaking building. You know what I mean? So it's very, you know, yes. I believe, and I'm really excited about the second podcast, how you're going to convince me of this differently. Sometimes there are people that are not meant to be healed. And the reason I'm saying that is because I know she was not meant to be healed, right?
Yep, this is definitely going to be a second podcast, I can already tell.
Because I know it was her destiny to do what she was doing.
Yeah.
It was the right thing for her to do as a soul that come into this life to do that work.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, there are some people that have a contractual obligation to experience a theme.
Yeah.
And they will experience that theme one
Over
way
and
or
over and
another.
over.
And that is their entire mission, basically, is to have that theme. And it won't go away because that's what they wanted to experience. And all facets of holding on to that theme. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, there are some people that don't get the cure. They don't get, they
Yeah.
don't let themselves change and morph into a different identity along the way. They maintain that same storyline, that same identity, because they wanted to experience it from all different angles. When you look at things from a 360-degree standpoint, absolutely, that's what they wanted. They wanted to be part of the all that is on this theme,
Right.
in the theme park of the world.
Well,
Okay.
you said that. You said that far more beautifully than I did. So thank you for that. I'm going to listen to that part of the recording and we're going to write it down and learn it. But the other thing is that I came to the realization of, and very interested in your thoughts on this too, Dr. Jenny, and of course yours too, James. But she tends to.
She's
argue.
smarter than I am.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
It's just because I eat Smarties all the time.
Yeah, she eats Smarties.
So what I realized was, and I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Sometimes people, including myself, when I'm going through this process, I was meant to go through that. And sometimes we see a friend or a family member going through something and we know it's maybe bad for them or it's toxic and we try to stop them. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes if we do that, we can prevent them going through an experience they need to go through. That's actually going to be for the greater good in the end. And so people were telling me when I was going through this with Tamaz, man, you got to, way in the beginning, man, she just almost stole your home. What do you mean you're seeing her again? You know what I mean? So, but there's a beautiful thing that you can't tell somebody.
Well,
They
there's
justify it in mind.
yeah.
So my point was, I needed to go through that experience.
Yeah.
The whole thing from beginning to end.
Absolutely.
And I am blessed. I'm blessed that I did. And I'm so grateful to her. I mean, I love her. I mean, if like I said, if she walked in the room, it'd be we just start all over again. I can't do that any more than I could, take heroin again.
Well,
But I'm glad that I went through that experience, guys, because like you said, I had to look at my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I had to see who I am.
Yeah.
So, and I wrote this book. I wanted to write it for a while. So this is interesting. We create a story why we don't do something that in our heart we know we need to do, right?
Yeah.
And the story I told myself was, because I obviously went into another relationship after that, and I'm thinking, how can I write about this sex room, this super international supermodel, the madness that we went through? And this woman know about that. She's going to leave me in a heartbeat, right? And I wouldn't want to put her through that trauma, right? So in the end, I had to decide not to be in a relationship.
Yeah, totally.
So that I could do something that I never really done before, and that is really reflect on my life. When I was a kid, my home environment was traumatic for me.
Yeah.
And so all I wanted to do was run away. I wanted to run away from home, and I did. And I never stopped running, guys. But what I realized in the end, I am my home.
Yep.
I was running away from myself.
Yep.
Right?
Everybody does it at some point or another.
Right. I was even keeping journals, but I never read them. I would do a journal all the time, but I never read it. What was the point, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, about 3 years ago, I said, that's it. I've always in a relationship, usually gone from one to another. And I said, I'm just not going to be in a relationship. And that is where the healing from now, just to be clear, I mean, none of us are fully healed, right? It's a lifelong journey. But I am so much more healed because I took the time to reflect, go through it from I wouldn't call it a higher perspective, but reflecting on it from outside the situation. It's been so cathartic.
Yeah.
And I've recognized patterns that I no longer need because the healing happened inside of me. And all we're doing is creating a mirror of what's inside of us so we can see ourselves, right?
Right.
And I realized those things. So there's no longer any need for them. And I'm
Correct.
so happy to be on my own. I spend a lot of time on my own, and I'm happy to do it. I'm never bored. I'm never lonely. I'm happy, right?
Yep. So,
So
hey,
I'm
you know,
not saying I'll
we're
never
getting
be
a
in a
little,
relationship, but I'm happy that I'm not.
we're getting a little long in the
Sure.
tooth. We're gonna have to like tell me where your book's available here, and we'll
Have you
continue
ever
this.
heard
What?
that? Have
We
you?
just got started, guys. We
I
just got
know,
started.
right? Have you ever heard that from where you come from, Stephen? We're getting along in the tooth. Have you ever heard that phrase?
Well, I have, but not necessarily related to a podcast. Yes, we're getting along in the tooth. Yes, it is an old saying. I have, Dr. Jenny. You're right. So you obviously have a lot of handle on a lot of different cultures, even countries. Have you
Oh,
lived
yeah.
in England?
No, she has
I haven't in this
Go
lifetime,
ahead and break it out. You know you're going to.
but
I
I
love how you
did.
say that. This
I
lifetime, yeah.
yes, I do. I do love England, and I've obviously been there at some point. There'll be many days
Yes.
where I feel like I need a spot of tea, and
Yeah.
I enjoy it immensely when I get to have a spot of tea.
Sports tea. Yeah. That's nice. It's nice, me love. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Listen, get yourself up the apples and pears, get some rest, and I'll talk to you when you wake up, all right? You've lost your mind.
So where do we find your book at, Stephen? Where's it for sale at?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot I wrote a book. So the book, I say to people, look, I don't expect you to go buy my book, but I'd
Of
love to get to know
course.
you more, and I'd love you to go to my website where I give away a free book, the one I mentioned earlier, Madness and Mayhem, so you can get a taste of the book and learn a little bit more about the book, and give me your email address, and I'll keep in touch with you. The address of the website, thank you for asking, by the way,
Yep.
is vft23.com. VFT, Venus Flytrap
23.
23. Which we got to talk about the number 23 at some time too.
Oh yeah,
.com,
totally.
yes.
So what we'll do is after the podcast here, I'll reach out and we'll get another schedule so you and Jenny can have your debate.
Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, I can't wait.
Jenny likes a good debate. I'll warn you, she's pretty good at it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not bad either, so we'll see. But here's what I know: in the end, we're gonna still be very good friends.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And we're gonna maybe agree
Absolutely.
to disagree or whatever it is, right?
Oh, that's
So no
part of life.
question about that.
That's part of the
Yes.
whole life contrast,
Yeah,
for
totally,
sure.
totally.
And
Well, we
I agree.
appreciate it.
I
We
agree.
appreciate you coming on today, and
yeah, it's
Stephen,
been great fun.
I appreciate you
Yeah,
kind
I
of
had
giving
a
me your
blast,
stories,
yeah.
and we'll definitely have to do this again, and we'll bring
Yeah.
in some we'll bring in some good topics. That'll
Beautiful.
just them juicy
Looking forward
ones.
to it. I'm actually going to start, just so you know, and we can talk about this later, but I'm going to start my own podcast too. So you guys are definitely going to have to come
Oh,
on
nice.
there with you.
Oh, I love it.
Good. Welcome to the
Yeah.
welcome to the team. We just did
Thank
our
you.
200th episode actually. Not very long
Oh,
ago.
congratulations.
Yeah.
A lot of things to celebrate this week.
Oh yeah,
Good
40,
season.
46 countries and multiple. I mean,
Yeah.
we have more sites on our website than we do in actually the podcast
Yeah.
hosting site. But
See, didn't you
We
also,
love it.
Didn't you also change? Yeah, didn't you also change your tile for your podcast? Now you got a different one.
Yeah, we
Yes.
gave everything a makeover.
Yeah,
Fresh
yeah.
new coat of paint.
you know, we just recently got interviewed for Brains Magazine, and I had a website guy look at it, and he was like, we need to back. I learned about all that. Remember, I think I was telling you about it. About you have to backside them, where you other.
Yeah. You were telling me that yesterday.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so
Sure,
we
yeah.
had to kind of bring it up to date so we could backside it all. But anyway,
It was time to freshen
Well-
everything up anyways. We had been we're
Yeah.
3 years into it, so it's nice to just change it up.
yeah,
It's kind of like a house. It's
It's,
nice to
it's
give
a
it
really great picture. It's a really great picture, guys.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
that
Your
is-
energy just emanates. Your energy emanates from that beautifully.
oh yeah.
Great.
That's what everybody says actually. But they all, even
We
in
just
person,
like
they
having
say the same
fun.
thing.
We just like having fun.
I'm
man.
not. I don't bullshit. I just tell you as I see it.
Well, Stephen, we appreciate you being on today with us, and I'll definitely reach out and we'll get another schedule. And what's that? Hang on, we have the crowd. The crowd out here is like saying bye. They're waving at you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Wave bye to
Get
Stephen,
back
guys.
to the Super Bowl, all of you.
Hey, Steve, we appreciate you all, and we'll catch you on the flip.
Thank
Sounds
you,
great. Thank you,
Stephen.
guys.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All righty then. Well, that was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, he's got
He's
some good energy.
He's got some great energy.
He's a character for sure.
For sure. And we'll put all the links to his social media and everything on the bottom of the description of this on our podcast. And we appreciate everybody listening today. And I know it was a little bit of a different style, but hey, it was fun still. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always love having other people on.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, don't forget to like, follow, and share. Check out our website, www.themerccenters.org. And you can check out the app website at www.lucidiumworld.com.
Yep. And our guest speakers, Dr. Stephen Edwards.
Dr. Stephen Edwards.
And the Venus Flytrap.
Yep. It's
check the book out.
Yeah, check him out. It's actually VFT23.com.
Sounds like a book full of
he's got many. He's written many books.
Yummy, hot,
many.
steamy sex and chaos.
Lies and videotape. No, just kidding.
Lots of good, yummy stuff to keep you interested.
All right, guys. Hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in, and we hope you have an awesome day.
Love ya.